Hey everyone, and welcome to Already Cancelled. I am Peter, that is Tara, and we are going to talk about the Twilight Zone Season 1, Episode 23. It's called A World of Difference. So, full spoilers for the episode, as always. This episode features a man who works at a company and he is getting ready to take his weekend off. He's going to go on a trip with his wife. He's telling his secretary to arrange tickets, but when he sits down at his phone, all of a sudden someone yells cut and he's on a movie set, and they all seem to think he's this actor named Jerry, but he's convinced he's this guy named Arthur, who happens to be the character in the movie that Jerry's playing. So the episode is largely about people interacting with him and him looking like a crazy man as he tries to find his fictitious wife, his fictitious daughter, his fictitious house, his fictitious job, all these things. And I'll leave it there until we get into the plot. So Tara, what did you think of A World of Difference?
I like this one quite a bit, actually. At first, I thought I don't normally like these types of episodes, but where like it gets real meta, and the I don't know, whenever you see a director like a director's chair, and there's a director behind the camera. I don't know, like it just seems a little bit too. It could be too complimentary to Hollywood sometimes. But I actually kind of dug this one a bit. What about you?
Yeah, I liked it as well. I don't think it, because what you just said there were too complimentary to Hollywood. I never got that vibe from this in any way.
No,
It
no.
felt like,
In fact, it's probably the opposite.
yeah, for me it felt like it's this way because the story dictates that it should be a story about an actor. Because how else could you do this story? Um, the whole plot is that the character realizes that he's in a movie and then is confused as to why there's cameras, and obviously the big question of the episode is: this an actor who has snapped and has become his character and is then
Hmm.
actually crazy, or is this a real person who kind of went into a different dimension where he's an actor and by the end of the episode gets back to his real world? Like, how do you want to read it? How do you want to accept it?
Yeah, I actually think it's kind of the former in this because when you get to know his real life as Jerry, he's got this horrible life. And we often see movies and TV as escapism, and
Can I
he's a man who's like escaped into his role.
call him what he kind of is? Can we just say that he's essentially a Nicolas Cage type actor? A lot of alimony coming his way, might have a drinking problem, a little bit crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, definitely a drinking problem. He's got a really beautiful wife who is demanding money. Like the whole time, she is horrible to be around. At first, I thought that they were really like, man, these guys really are bad at writing women. Like they just see us as like hens who just want money. But then I don't know. It actually makes sense that why he would want to escape into this other world where he has a wife who loves him and a child. And even though this other world, he's successful at his business for closing the big deal, whatever that means.
It's very Birdemic. It's like, I caught the big fish. Really? Yes. $1 million. Yeah. People have seen Birdemic will know what I'm talking about.
All right. I think I have seen it, but I think I've only seen the Riff Tracks version of it.
Uh,
So it's been many years.
I have sat through that movie like 3 times with different people.
I can barely get through it, the Riff Tracks version of it, so I feel for you.
um, yeah, no, it's funny actually because I was thinking a lot of Mulholland Drive when I was watching this. For those who've seen David Lynch's film, which I love for a record, it's one of my favorites. There's definitely some thematic parallels here, but the idea of him escaping his shitty Hollywood career to something better. I don't want to get too specific here because it's kind of spoilery for the movie, but the, I was definitely getting vibes of that, and I was thinking about it as he was going around, and we were sort of learning. Because I think I agree with you that by the end of the episode, we learn so much about his shitty life and the fact that his wife is just angry. Well, ex-wife is just angry at him, wants alimony money.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not. I don't think it's alimony. I don't think he has a kid. I think it's just divorce.
Yeah, she's just
Earnings.
demanding
Yeah,
money, like, where's your checkbook? You owe this to me, blah, blah, blah. Like, yeah.
yeah. His agency's going to drop him because he's unreliable on set. He's Because we see when he first gets up, they all think, oh, stop messing about, go back, because he's got like two agents in this. He's got like the younger guy at the set, and then there's like the older guy who clearly is like the boss of the agency, comes by to see him later on. And he's like, no, you have to get back on set, or they're going to get angry and drop you. Like, you're on thin ice as it is. And he obviously doesn't
Everyone knows
understand
your reputation. Like they're doing you a favor already.
And you sympathize from his perspective, because he's genuinely confused. He's looking around. He's trying to find, And I actually kind of love the scene where he drives to what he thinks is his neighborhood, and he sees who he thinks is his daughter, goes up to grab her in a sort of father way, and she just screams and runs. And I love that his ex-wife here is like, "Come on, let's get out of here before you're charged with attempted assault." And I was like,
right, because he's so recognizable.
Yeah.
He's a huge name actor apparently.
But it was just a darker moment than I was expecting. I'm like, I didn't expect the Twilight Zone to crack a joke about him getting after a kid like that.
Yeah, not in like 1960, no way.
But no, it played that way, and and she takes him back to his actual house, to Jerry's house, and he doesn't recognize, he doesn't know where he is. He's looking around, and she's demanding money. This is not my
beautiful house. This is not my beautiful wife.
But
how did I get here?
He tries to call his work, and just like before when he tried to find out his own home number because he couldn't remember it, and that's another clue that this is the true story here is that he's an actor who snapped, is that he has all the information that's in the movie script, but anything that's not in the movie script he doesn't know. So his own phone number he doesn't know, even though he knows all these other details about himself, and that's kind of it. And so that's really neat. And of course, there's a scene where the agent confronts him and says, "Look, here's the script. It's a story about this guy, Arthur Curtis. That's who you think you are. This is the character." And he describes who he is. And it's this really sort of like facing your reality thing where he doesn't want to accept it. My cat is like clicking the mouse, like, stop it. I'm nervous he's going to like click on like the stop recording button or some such. So it's this moment of like facing reality, and he doesn't want to accept it. And his ultimate plan is to run back to the movie set and find if he can get away back, because he finds out the movie set's been taken down because they've cancelled the movie.
Right, because they don't trust him anymore.
And he runs in, and there's actually one of my favorite moments of the episode is there's some guys like taking out the couch, and he like says to one of the the set dressers or whoever. And he says to the one guy who's like left behind, he's like, "Hey, so what's going on?" He's like, "Oh, we're just following orders and whatever." And he's like, "Oh, okay." And when he walks back into the fake office set, the guy he was talking to just kind of turns. He's got this look in his face where he's like, "Was it just like, oh, I'm dealing with this crazy actor again?" He
is lost it. Yeah.
It's such a little subtle moment in his face that I just really like.
Yeah, it's a very real moment of like what a person would do rather than what a character would do in a script. It's I think it's really well done. I was surprised that we had like 3 good episodes in a row, really.
Yeah, no, that's been a nice little run. Because he goes back in and he's sitting down at the desk, and the photo frame's empty where his daughter and wife are supposed to be, and then the lights change, and all of a sudden he's back in the movie world. He's escaped back into it, and he sees his wife come in, and he's like, "Oh, let's go right now, honey. Let's go. I don't want to lose you. Let's go right now." And he hears in the distance, he hears like someone say, "Oh, where's he went?" We're still, he hears the people on set speaking for a brief moment, and he's like, he rushes out the front door and goes down the hall and off to his trip. Yeah. And I think because of Twilight Zone, you can theorize that he did actually like.
Yeah, it's a little 16mm shine, but better.
But I agree, it is better. Because I would say, like I was expecting them to find his body like comatose, like he'd went into his mind, right? But they didn't. Yeah. He's legitimately missing. They don't know where he went. So I am almost thinking that even though I agree it's an actor who snapped, that he did actually kind of cross over into this, like almost as if the Twilight Zone part of this story is that this world was created because it was a movie, and it's now a real dimension because the movie exists, and he's escaped to that because that's where he'd rather be. It's
not just Daniel Day-Lewis who's gone just so method acting that he's become the actual person forever.
Yeah, absolutely.
So method he even mixes the world.
Yeah, and I've noticed my cat did actually adjust the audio levels on you a little bit. Not enough to be concerned, but still
Curse you, Firefly.
being a menace. Okay, no, I can't get them back in the right place. Come on.
You can't drown me out.
I'll do. No, he turns you up. He was drowning me out.
Oh, go cat, go.
He was making you like, oh, yes, I'm Tara, and I like the Twilight Zone. Was that loud?
Sounds just like me.
I didn't try and do an
Nailed it.
accent. I could try and do an accent if you want. I can.
An American accent?
Yeah, I can do it. I'll do an American accent. Hi, I'm Tara, and
Nailed it. Mr. Calling. Should have been an actor.
oh dear. So yeah, no, it's a solid episode. I hear a cat in the distance. Actually, I've got cats in
He wants in.
both sides of the
I'll go get
cameras. No, it's a. I think it's a really fun little episode. It kind of. Like, I think I've criticized episodes in the past for not having much of a, not a surprise, but like a proper turn in the story towards the end. And I actually would put this in the camp where it doesn't really have much of a turn. I think it plays out exactly how you expect it to once you get what the premise is. But
Right.
I think in this story, like, I actually think the dramatic beat of him just choosing to go back to this world and not accept what we think is his real life is actually dramatic enough that it doesn't need any other turn. It's a story about the character making this choice as opposed to, oh, wacky twist, this is what's really going on kind of thing.
Right. And it's kind of cool that they had the the opposite of what you would think, what kind of life he would want. He has all of a sudden entered a world where he's a famous celebrity. He has a huge house and a beautiful wife and all this money and fame, and he still doesn't want it. Like,
Yeah.
like the mere thought of staying in this world another second is just like, no, give me back my normal, like, upper middle class life where I can, be happy and with what I have.
It's not. I mean, it's not. I think got a super message about it, but I mean, you could read into it a little bit and say that it's like, yeah. I mean, on paper, everyone thinks they want to be famous and be rich, but this guy is much
Yeah.
happier just having a normal kind of middle class life. He doesn't want.
Yeah, the rich guy is messed up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And maybe the super rich and super famous dream of that, like what their lives would have been if they had made other decisions, and I don't know.
Gus is just peeking in at the corner, and I can hear him purring a little bit. It's just
Yeah.
a amusing little touch.
I know. Hey, stop
So-
taking over my spotlight.
Oh, that is loud.
Sorry.
So, no, like I think it plays out its story beats quite smartly, and I think I really I like almost every scene in the episode the way that it plays out. There's not a single scene where I went, oh, that was like filler or that was waste. I mean, if anything,
I agree.
yeah, the only time I feel like they were padding for like maybe 30 seconds is when he's driving back to the studio. There's like a weird montage of like the car moving fast, like a POV, and it's like,
Yeah, it looked like Duel, the opening of Duel, where they have like the camera on the hood of the car. Although I think it might have been in the back of the car. I can't
yeah.
remember.
But I mean, like, I wouldn't have needed that. I feel like you could have just cut to him arriving at the like.
It was just kind of a neat little like, oh, maybe this is the director we don't know or something that is trying to put a little bit of style into it.
The race against time, yes. I mean, I guess.
I was thinking when it first happened that this was going to be like a Truman Show episode
Mm,
because you can kind of see influences there.
okay.
But yeah, it's more of like a 60 millimeter shrine, but like reverse.
Yeah. I like it more than that episode quite a bit, actually. I think
Yeah, and I actually really like that episode too.
it's not super
But I
high
think
rated,
this
this one on IMDb, which I'm surprised by, because I think I think the premise is just solid enough that it just kind of works. I think the actor's reactions to everything, and I do like that there's never a point in this episode where he kind of remembers who he is. Like he
Nope.
never breaks character. He's gone the entire time.
Mhm.
I like
I
that.
like it too. Did you say it was low rated on?
I mean, not super low.
IMDb?
It's got a 7.8 average, which is not like super low, but like compared to the last episode that had like a 9, like I don't think the drop is that big.
No, I would disagree.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, I think this one's pretty good. I think it's one of the better ones that we've watched so far.
And I like some of the reactions of those around him as well. Like, obviously his ex-wife is super angry at him, like most of the episode. But there's a point when he's like on the phone demanding to speak to his employer, and it doesn't exist, where she actually starts to look concerned. Like, you know what? I'm going to drop the angry act for a minute and just be concerned that he might have actually just completely snapped.
Yeah. And I mean, that could be like, we're watching it like, oh, he's in the Twilight Zone, but in all of their eyes, they're like, oh, he needs help.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the director's first response to the start of the episode is to call an ambulance. He tries to stop him leaving with his ex-wife because he's like, no, the ambulance is on the way. He snapped. Like, they need to speak to him.
Yeah.
He thinks he's his character.
Yeah, pretty good.
Why do I get the feeling that Jared Leto's just played this exact thing out on set but he's actually just been method acting the whole time?
I don't know. I go back and forth on whether or not I like Jared Leto. It's going to be a long time for me to recuperate from Suicide Squad.
Oh, I don't go back and forth. I don't like him at all.
Really? Even in Requiem?
No, I mean, no. His earlier Requiem, a small part in American Psycho, he's fine in those. Everything he's done
Dallas
recently.
Buyers Club, he got an Oscar for that.
Okay, sure. But recent memory, I hate his character in Blade Runner 2049.
Yeah, he's the worst part of it.
Yes, he's absolutely the worst part.
But I tolerate it because it's such a good movie.
Yes, his Joker is terrible. All the stories about him sending rats to cast members, shit like that.
I think he learned an important lesson. Although I don't know why he needed to learn it, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what? I think it's acceptable to send dead rats to people. I'm going to do that as a gift.
Oh.
No, I'm doing him. I'm not saying I feel that way.
Oh. Sorry. Distracted by my cat who's trying to destroy everything on my desk.
Uh-huh. That said, I mean, cats often think it's a present to give a dead mouse or bird to their owners. Not my
Haven't
cats,
had that yet.
Because they're all indoor cats.
Though.
Yeah, exactly. It's usually Firefly. You good? Firefly insists on like almost rolling into the keyboard every so often, so I have to kind of push him back the way. And he looks at me like, "What are you doing? What are you doing? I like lying this way." Yeah, I don't care. It's a pain. Stop it, Cat. Yeah, the episode's really solid. I think. Solid premise, executed really simply. All the beats you expect to play out, which makes it in a way kind of predictable, but only in as far as that it never like makes the turn you think it might. Like because I think when you're watching this for the first time, you are thinking, is there going to be some shred of proof that what he's saying is true? Is there something going to appear? You're kind of waiting for it all episode, and it never does, which is actually almost more powerful.
Yeah, I think it's really well done, and I like the ending a lot. Like that he just appears back into the world because he wishes it so. And it sounds dumb because that is the same thing that happened at the end of 16mm Shrine, but it's just, I guess,
this has more impact.
I don't know if it's a better script. It's probably just a better direction.
I think this does have a better script. I think it has more impact with this character. I think because I had this mix of feelings when this happened at the end, where I'm like, I'm actually happy he found this place again, but at the same time, in reality, this is an actor who's just completely like he's just given up and he's went down the rabbit hole. So that's kind of sad. But I felt both feelings, and I think at the end of 16mm Shrine, I just went, oh yeah, that's a Twilight Zone ending. I never really felt anything from it.
Yeah.
Whereas this, I actually,
you're right.
You know, there was a character journey completed here, which was nice. You know, but at the same time, it was different than last episode where it cut to aliens who were behind everything.
Yeah.
Joe, we need
Twilight Zone.
Joe, we need for this show, and I need to like get Tim to like act out. You know that guy from History Channel who does the aliens, like that guy, that GIF. I need Tim to do as a version of that, so I can play the GIF of Tim every time an episode ends with aliens are behind it all. It's aliens. It's always aliens.
I don't know how many alien episodes. Well, we've had, what, 2 so far? There's the Third from the Sun, and then Monsters We Do on Maple Street. I guess that's it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Ton of asteroids, but only 2 aliens.
all two aliens. That's true. Lot of well, wasn't the guy who was running the theme park thing in the asteroid? Wasn't he technically an alien?
I think he was an android,
Okay. He was
but I think the people there were aliens.
Okay.
You're right.
So we may have had some aliens there.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Their menagerie. My Star Trek word of the day.
Yes, that's right. So good that you brought it back again. Okay. So next up, Rod Serling told us about a man who is immortal. It's called Long Live Walter Jamison. The description on IMDb reads as follows. A father forbids a history professor from marrying his daughter when he discovers that the captivating lecturer is actually an immortal who has lived for thousands of years.
Huh? Often a dream that I have. Not dying, living forever.
Uh-huh.
Let's see if it's worth it.
Yeah.
I expect a happy ending.
No, notably, Kevin McCarthy is going to star in this, who is the main actor from the original Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Very cool.
I recognize
I've seen
his
that
face.
movie.
As have I, funnily enough.
Maybe we should review it on Ace.
Maybe we should. I actually was. I thought I recognized the actor from this, but I've clicked on his IMDb, and I'm not seeing anything that he's known for that I'm recognizing.
I usually check just to see if there's any crossover with Star Trek, but I forgot to do that this week.
Okay. But that'll pretty much do it then. We'll see you next time for the many what was the episode called? The Long Live Walter Jamison. That was the title of it.
Long Live Walter Jamison. Okay.
So, but that, of course, was episode 23 of the Twilight Zone we talked about today. So we'll see you next time for 24, as will Gus, Tara's cat, who's been a menace. But you can, of course, let us know what you think of the episode in the comments below. You can like and subscribe. That helps out a lot. They can help us out in other ways, though, financially, specifically. And I'm just going to stall this for a second whilst Tara sits down. Tara, why don't you tell everyone about Patreon?
Yeah, you can check out patreon.com/MileFestTV. You can donate as little as $1 per month, and that gets you access to these Twilight Zone reviews a week early, so you can watch them with us.
Yep. So go check that out. You can also email us questions, mftvquestions@gmail.com, if you want to do that. But otherwise, that is us. So thank you once again for watching or listening. We always appreciate it. Keep watching TV, guys, in the Twilight Zone.